If you have a property management company, by the way, that's renting out your properties, you can ask them, like, hey, what's your process for tenant showings? And they may tell you that they use an automated scheduling software, or they may tell you that they work directly with tenants and they want to give them a red carpet service and they work with them directly. Totally cool. But this way, you have the information and you can talk knowledgeably when you're trying to vet your property manager. Hey guys, Palak here. Today we're talking about reducing the vacancies in your rental properties as either a local investor or an out-of-state investor using systems and processes, specifically automated scheduling software and self-showings. The first time I heard about this, I was very apprehensive. I was like not sure if this was something I wanted to implement, if this would work, but I'm going to tell you it has reduced our vacancies from 3 to 4 weeks. It would take us about 3 to 4 weeks, which is pretty normal to rent out a property, to at times we've seen properties being rented out in as little as 3 days. And it's an incredible hack. We're going to talk all about it. But before I get into it, just want to remind you, if you haven't already, go buy your tickets for the BurrCon. This is the best and the biggest real estate conference happening this year for Burr investors. Specifically, high-achieving professionals want to make work optional in 3 to 5 years using the Burr strategy. Building generational wealth, building income. Our portfolio pros are coming. If you don't know what that is, folks in our higher level mastermind, they're coming. They're going to share all of their different challenges and learnings and advice. These are pros that are implementing the Burr strategy in different markets all across the country. Some are out-of-state investors, some are local investors. It's a really amazing group of people who are implementing this strategy to build generational wealth. All of them are high-achieving professionals, and they're doing this on the side. It's a very, very different kind of a group of people that you may not see in other places. We're also going to plan out 2024, the entire year. We're going to do a planning session. If you have ever attended a planning session with me, you know it's really fun. Our members ask for these planning sessions every quarter inside our program. We're going to plan out the entire year, though, together. Well, you know, the market's shifting. And 2024 could be the year where the biggest wealth rebound happens. And what we want to do is get you completely set up for what is about to happen in this economy. And if you are an investor who has educated themselves, this could be a life-changing year for you. So don't miss out. If you are at theburrcon.com, there may still be a handful of tickets at 50% off. Go grab them. We only have a handful of them. I don't know when they're going to run out. So if you still see 50% off, go grab them, because we are planning amazing workshops. And this is an opportunity to connect with investors who are actually implementing the Burr strategy, building generational wealth and income for their families. Some of them have already made work optional. Some of them are already retired, and they're happy to share their learnings and advice at this conference. Come and join us. All right, let's talk about the automated scheduling software and self-showings. There are two that I vetted for our business, and I want to talk a little bit about both of them. But let me first tell you how it works, right? Say, for example, you have your rental listing on a place like Zillow, right? Just an example. You have a rental listing on a place like Zillow. Somebody clicks on your listing and they want more information. You can either connect it to your email, right? So it comes to you, or a form, or you can connect it to an automated scheduling software. This software is going to give you a way to connect it to a place like Zillow, where when a potential tenant expresses interest, it leads them to a beautiful process that is curated for tenants who are searching for properties. It's going to take them through the steps. It's going to vet them, basic vetting. It's going to ask them to give basic information based on your screening criteria. And what it's going to do is it's going to take them through this process. And at the end, it's going to help them schedule a showing. And you can open the times for showings. If you're hosting open houses, you can open only those slots. You can have multiple people do showings at the same time versus one at a time. All depends on how your business is structured and how your processes are set up, right? You can have it go through those steps. And if you have a property management company, by the way, that's renting out your properties, you can ask them, like, hey, what's your process for tenant showings? And they may tell you that they use an automated scheduling software, or they may tell you that they work directly with tenants and they want to give them a red carpet service and they work with them directly. Totally cool. But this way, you have the information and you can talk knowledgeably when you're trying to vet your property manager. All right, so it takes them through this process. It asks them a bunch of questions, and then it helps them schedule. You can also opt in for an automated calling feature where tenants who don't want to do it, who are not like super tech savvy, they can have an automated call where you press different buttons to get to where you need to go. That's also an option. The two that I vetted for our business, one is called Tenant Turner, and the other one is called ShowMojo. These are the two that I vetted for our business. And I was amazed at how incredible the features are in these systems. So let me first just kind of tell you the differences between these two. What I found was Tenant Turner is more suitable for an individual investor. Even if you have a large portfolio, like we have 100 doors, it's still suitable for you. I think ShowMojo has more features, but it's more suitable for a property management company. It has more features, but the interface is not as user-friendly. That's what I found about ShowMojo. So I prefer Tenant Turner. Try out both, see which one you like better. So Tenant Turner, I believe, up to 50 rentals, what we were paying was about $50 a month. And then it's like $1 more per rental, something like that. It's very inexpensive considering the amount of features you get out of it. And then you can also opt in for a self-showing lockbox. I thought it was so amazing. The self-showing lockboxes were, I believe they're like $100 to $150, something like that. Somewhere around there, you buy a lockbox. And then there is a small monthly fee to maintain them. But those log boxes have codes that change every 15 minutes. And so what happens is when a tenant schedules a showing, goes through their system, whether it's online or through that automated phone system, schedules a showing, they can basically schedule a showing that is like 2 hours from now or 15 minutes from now, depending on how you set it up. And sometimes tenants are passing by our property, they see a for rent sign, they're like, oh, I wonder if I can rent this property, right? There's a number there. They call that number. That number leads them to your automated scheduling software. Now they can schedule a showing right then, right? And then it gives them a code. The lockbox opens, they get the key, they can do a self-showing. You can put instructions on how they can lock back up, put the key back, go their way. And this is what really allowed us to reduce our vacancies. Tenant Turner specifically, that's the one we used. You can totally try it in your business. Even if you're not comfortable with the self-showing feature, I thought that was like a big shift for us to make because, just giving somebody a key to your property, that's a tough thing to do. So even if you're not comfortable with it, definitely give a try to the automated scheduling software at least. Pretty amazing. Let me talk a little bit about the lockboxes. So a few things, pros and cons, right? So pros, people can see your property immediately. I was giving you an example. And it's super easy. These days, people don't want to talk to people, right? They don't want to get involved in long conversations. They're just like, you know what? I just want to see this place. Show it to me. I'm done. Makes it super easy for them. Second is you can place different criteria for who gets access to the property. So you can ask them to upload their driver's license, and then Tenant Turner, which is the one I use the most, it runs them through a national fraud database, and it only gives them access if the license doesn't have a hit, right? So it has its own way of doing these searches, and then it gives them access depending on the criteria you set up, and then you have given access to someone who's vetted already. So those are the things I really liked about it. Actually, there's one more advantage. One more advantage is safety. If you're the one showing your properties and your properties are in, say, B or C neighborhoods or D neighborhoods, and you're not comfortable going there all the time at different hours, then, especially as a female, if you're a female investor, then this gives you a peace of mind, safety that you don't have to be in the presence of a stranger. So I thought that was another good reason to use this. Disadvantages. One disadvantage is you're giving access to a stranger to your property. They're going to go in your property. You don't know who they are. You have never talked to them. You haven't had a chance to feel them out. Second, they may forget to lock the back door. They may forget to, turn off a faucet, something like that. And this, by the way, this never happened to us. In fact, one potential tenant informed us of a leak that we wouldn't have known about when they visited the property. So it's a disadvantage, but it actually became an advantage. But, these are some concerns that people have when they give people access to their properties. Like, hey, what if they forget to lock the back door? Things like that. Never happened to us, by the way. The third disadvantage, which is what actually did happen to us, was once we showed the property to someone. She looked at the property, she locked the door, she put the key in her pocket and left. She forgot to put it back in the lockbox. And the next showing happened, and this person went to retrieve the key, and they were like, there's no key here. And you can set it up so the automated scheduling software eventually, if they need further help, can reach your phone. So they called me. And I said, oh, the key should have been there. And then I called the previous person, and she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I put it in my coat pocket and I left. She came from a different town. So she was like already an hour away. So she was like, she had to drive back. She said, could I mail the key? It was a big mess. That person, turns out, she ended up actually renting the place. So in the end, it was fine, but that's a disadvantage. I think that the advantages far outweigh some of the disadvantages of this specific system. I really loved the automated scheduling software and the automated showing lockboxes. Currently, we use a property management company as opposed to managing properties myself, which is what I used to do. They have their own systems and their own ways of managing the properties. They don't use the self-showing feature for, they have their own reasons. They have their own ways to manage their business. I'm good with it. So they don't use the self-showing feature, but I truly enjoyed using Tenant Turner when we used to use it. So yeah, there you have it. You can decide whether you want to use a feature like Tenant Turner or ShowMojo in your properties, or if you want to host the showings and communicate with the tenants yourself. Now you have the information and you can make the right decision for yourself. All right. See you guys next time. Bye now.